Sometimes a journey isn't just about getting from point A to point B. Sometimes it's about traveling back in time. We're about to jump into one father's mission to share his own past with his daughter, one memory, one taste, and one story at a time. This is the story of a truly magical history tour.
It's a question a lot of us probably think about, right? How do we make the stories that shaped us feel real and tangible to a whole new generation? For the dad in our story, the answer wasn't just about telling tales. It was about walking them, literally stepping back into his own memories with his daughter right there beside him. So what was the mission here? Well, it was actually pretty simple, but also really deep. He wanted to take his 11-year-old daughter Linda to his hometown of Pontianak. And this wasn't just any old town. It was a place she'd only seen as a toddler, a place that held the key to understanding half of her entire story.
Yeah, this wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment thing. Not at all. This idea had been cooking for 5 whole years, ever since a trip they took together to Hong Kong. There was a little delay, a school camp got in the way, but finally, in September 2023, it was happening. The Magical History Tour was officially a go.
And this is the key, right? This was never just about a fun trip. It was all about connection. At 11 years old, his daughter was finally at that perfect age to really see and feel the world of her father's humble beginning. It was about creating a real, lasting link to her family roots.
Okay, so one of the best ways to really get to know a place? It's through the food, of course. And food became the first and maybe the most powerful bridge between these two generations and two very, very different worlds. And, well, right off the bat, you could see let's call it a generational gap in taste. The local delicacies that Dad remembered fondly, Linda saw them a little differently. Pig blood, that was a hard pass. Shrimps were a go until she saw their little eyes staring back at her. Yep, that was the end of that. But the yam jimi noodles were a winner once she made a few creative substitutions.
This moment just perfectly sums up Linda's whole vibe. She decided to mix her ice cream with a local pancake, kind of like you'd put toppings on a waffle. And her logic was just so pure and simple. She didn't see why it didn't work since it tasted perfectly fine. It's just this wonderful little snapshot of her curiosity in action.
So, moving on from the food, the town itself basically became a living, breathing museum. Every single street corner, every old building, it all became another page in her dad's life story, and he was the personal tour guide.
The tour was this amazing walk through his youth. They walked through the halls of his old schools, St. Peter and Jimbala Bike. He showed her where he used to work, the now faded Cardico Hotel, and even this little alley that, believe it or not, used to be a wooden bridge. Every stop just peeled back another layer of the person he was before he was her dad.
And then you get one of those moments that just feels like it's straight out of a movie. They're inside his uncle's house, a place that feels like it's been frozen in time, and they spot an old photo on the wall. And it's a picture of her dad standing in that exact same room decades ago.
And get this, it was Linda, the 11-year-old, who had the brilliant idea. She saw the connection instantly. Her simple question, why didn't we take her picture on the same spot, was the key. It just clicked, connecting past and present, and literally placing her right inside her father's memory.
But the past wasn't just in the buildings, It literally walked up and said hello. Can you imagine the feeling of just bumping into your dad's old chauffeur from 30 years ago? Or seeing a former colleague from your very first job? These incredible, unexpected moments, that is the very definition of nostalgia. And it just fueled the whole trip. Okay, but let's flip the script for a second. This whole journey has two sides, right? What was all of this like through Linda's 11-year-old eyes? Well, for a kid coming from modern Singapore, Pontianak was a world of surprising and sometimes pretty baffling new discoveries. Her first big, wait, what moment happened at her dad's old school. The fact that they could just walk right in, the lack of security, the general openness, it was totally foreign to her. That one little question tells you everything about the difference between their two childhoods.
And the questions just kept on coming. I love this one. Seeing an open ditch next to a main road sparked a very logical, very practical concern. No fence? From her perspective, it's a totally valid point. It just shows how different their ideas of public space and safety were.
And of course, we're back to the food. This question is just a classic, right? It's what happens when you apply pure, simple logic to local traditions. It's a funny little reminder that sometimes things don't have to make perfect sense to be part of the culture.
So as the trip went on, you could see Linda's shifting from just watching to actually doing. She went from seeing vendors selling stuff in restaurants to lighting her very first firecracker to even hopping on her first and apparently not her favorite motorbike ride. They're small moments, but they were huge steps into a whole different way of life.
So when you look back at this whole thing, you realize the Magical History Tour was so much more than just a trip. It wasn't just about looking at the past. What they really created here was a new, shared history, a memory that now belongs to both of them, together.
And really, her age, 11, was just the perfect sweet spot. Think about it. She was old enough to really get the meaning behind everything she was seeing, but still young enough for it all to make a deep, lasting impression. On a journey like this, timing really is everything.
And what this whole trip really did was create balance. See, Linda already knew all about her mom's side of the family. This journey wove in the other half of her heritage, giving her a complete, rich picture of where she really comes from.
And this last thought from her dad, man, it just hits you right in the heart. It really captures how precious the moment was. That feeling that these kinds of opportunities can be so rare. It wasn't just a trip. It was this unique window in time, and they grabbed it with both hands.
This father's beautiful journey just goes to show how powerful it can be to share where we come from. And it kind of leaves all of us with a question, doesn't it? What stories from your past are just waiting to be told? And more importantly, how are you going to bring them to life?